They're everywhere. Fast food restaurants are on every corner of every street in every neighborhood. And yes, this is an exaggeration, but you understand the point. If you're going on a road trip, you probably wouldn't think twice about just going to a drive-through, and you wouldn't really think about what you're putting into your body. In fact, 1/3 or 36.6 of American adults will eat fast food on any given day, according to CNN Health. And it doesn't sound like a big deal, but you until you realize that fast food increases your risk for heart disease, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and other health complications, you start to notice. Consumption of fast food is very common, but also very detrimental to your health. You yourself may not see a problem with getting the occasional Big Mac, but that's not what I'm trying to talk about. I'm talking about when fast food meals start to replace primary meals such as dinner. It does sound like more of a hassle to take the time to go to the grocery store and plan meals rather than quickly choosing a meal from a selected menu and going on about your day. But one's health is worth the time and money. That's why I'm here to discuss some potential alternatives to redefine what we know as fast food. And maybe by the end of this speech, grocery shopping won't seem so intimidating. I will also cover the importance of nutrition and why fast food companies have been trying to change their previously brought on stigma about the importance of the effect that their advertising has on America's youth. So first off, I will show you how common fast food is in America, and then I will clarify a few misconceptions that are keeping these places popular and the public oblivious. And then I will also show how employment opportunities affect public perceptions. Lastly, I will explain how the industry profits off of misleading ads to children. So, first, fast food is common and it really is seen as no big deal. But the consumption of fast food is often associated with low income people who can't afford a nice sit down dinner with their families, but the opposite is actually true. It's been found that increased adult fast food consumption correlates with higher income, and this began to rise in 2013. Back in the early 70s, a farm activist by the name of Jim Hightower expressed his concern on the quote-unquote McDonaldization of America, while he explains that the fast food industry was hurting small businesses and it would have an ill effect on American life. In 1975, he went on to say in Eat Your Heart Out, quote-unquote, bigger is not better, which is referring to the popularization of supersizing your meals, and his fear began to become a reality as large chains began to wipe out small businesses in later years. So this is where people become on the fence because employment opportunities make for a difficult divide on the positives and negatives of fast food. McDonald's is responsible for 90% of the country's new jobs, and more than 1 million are hired at McDonald's annually. 96% of American children could identify Ronald McDonald, with Santa being the only other fictional character with a higher percentage of recognition. So these fast food chains really do make a difference in people's lives and have high influence. So money is prioritized over the public's health. As pointed out in a fast food article by the New York Times, and I quote, what we eat has changed more in the last 40 years than the last 40,000. And this is calling attention to the rapid growth in the industry. The changes in demand for beef have made meatpacking, which was once a high-paying and high-skilled occupation, into one of the most dangerous jobs in the United States today, actually. And although ads have perceived foods that they serve to be safe, there are also actually many harmful preservatives found in fast food, which can be detrimental to one's health and can confuse and mislead the public. So now that I've shown you how the fast food industry is corrupt and doesn't have the best intentions for the future of the United States, I will now show you some options on how you can keep you and your family educated and healthy. So fast food is for money and not really for people's well-being, because there are a lot of concerns on whether or not advertising towards children, which is one of the main consumers in fast food, is ethical. So chains like Burger King and McDonald's play a large role in children's lives. So what gets shown to them could influence their future decisions for good or bad. And it did take a lot of convincing for McDonald's commercials to start pushing kids in the right path, for health advertising, by advertising animated fruits and vegetable characters, which McDonald's called yums, to encourage kids to eat the right way and stay active. This was only after a lot of convincing from practitioners of advertising. The APA states that advertising targets children has been linked to an increase of childhood obesity. And keep in mind that this is before their health ads and everything like that. So there are also a lot of harmful chemicals in foods that are made in the fast food industry. So don't be fooled by the healthy options, because just one salad from Burger King has more than double the sodium found in one of their burgers. And farm animals that are used to produce a chain meal are pumped full of antibiotics, which can make the bacteria they're trying to prevent resistant, meaning when you eat their meat, you could get sick because the bacteria have built a resistance to that your immune system just wasn't prepared to fight. So if you're adamant about going to these fast food restaurants, I found some alternatives that they provide that might be healthier. So, for example, if you go to Panera, which yes is considered a fast food restaurant, and order a half salad, it will contain 21 grams of protein, but a whole chicken sandwich only contains 17 grams of protein. So if you still want to have your fast food, keep in mind the nutritional facts, which are now legally required to be listed on the menu as far as calories go. But you can still ask for the nutrition options because they will be able to provide it for you. Here I have a graph on the percentage of adults that have consumed fast food on any given day. And as you can see, that percent has risen in the past, like from 2013 to 2016, that percentage has gone up drastically, and it's been affecting people for a long time now. So I've now just explained how the fast food industry is detrimental to American society rather than beneficial. And by first explaining how fast food is common and not good for the average person's well-being, I then described how employment opportunities might not be as they seem, and why you shouldn't really have the government and a lot of advertising play a large role in your kids' lives. So it is up to us as the general public to do our research and keep each other out of the dark. And it'll be helpful for future generations if we all work together and resolve the issue. So that's been my speech, and